Hello folks, I'm Guy. I want to tell you a story about windows. I bought this building with my ex-wife about 24 years ago now, and it was an outdoor unfinished barn when I bought it. And what I did was wire it and drywall and paint the inside and made it a super efficient building by having spray foam installed in the walls and in the roof. So I have R30 in the walls and R40 upstairs in the roof line up there. The thing that I struggled with was the windows, because the windows were really cheap, outdoor-based windows for a barn, right? They were just single pane, wood, crappy windows. And what I did was supplemented them with interior storm windows. And I'll put a link in the description below about the interior storm windows that I've designed with my friend Topher, and you can make them out of wood. They're basically two panes of stretch window film that you put inside to increase the insulation of your windows. But then I thought, okay, I'm getting tired of this. The windows are ugly, they're failing, the window sills were rotting, the trim was rotting. Oh my goodness, I just smudged something there. And so I decided to review and look at getting replacement windows installed. So I put out requests to 3 different companies to give me a price and come and give me an estimate for replacing all 7 windows. So I have 5 of these downstairs and 1 upstairs. And one company showed up the very next day, a young guy and an older guy, and they were both fairly new to what they were doing, but they were acting like used car salesmen. They were a little annoying. So they went and measured all the windows, and they did some calculations and stuff, and they came up to me and said, well, we can do this for about $12,500. I was stunned. That's so far outside my budget that I said, okay, you can leave now. They didn't want to leave. They were doing the used car salesman bit. Well, we'll work this deal with you, Guy. We're going to make you happy. So I said, okay, well, what if I take all the trim off the old windows inside and out, and then you just put the windows in? So they came up with a price of $7,200, which ethically is just weird. And still, that was outside my budget. I was thinking more like under $5,000 for sure. And I was getting a little testy with them. And they wouldn't leave. They wanted to bring in and give me a whole show and tell of the window and how great it is. And I said, no, I'm not interested, thank you. But they finally came up with another quote of $5,000 to replace 3 windows. That's the point where I got pissed off and told them to leave my property immediately, and I canceled all the other requests for estimates. So then I got onto the Lowe's website, which is the big box store here in North America, in case you're not from North America, a big box hardware store. And they sell a brand called United. United make these windows, get this, $218. This is a state-of-the-art vinyl window, double pane glass, argon-filled, low emission, designed for North Atlantic temperate climates and so forth, with a screen in it. It's a single hung window, so it just opens here, and this does not have a screen. And I thought to myself, well, gosh, I'm a pretty skilled DIY guy. I can do this. So all in, I have spent about $2,000. Seriously. Not $12,000, not $7,000, not even $5,000. But of course, there was a lot of sweat equity, about 4 hours per window to get all the old trim off, which was rotting, the inside trim, which I had put in, which was okay. It was unpainted wood. Now everything is painted wood. This is the exterior trim that here is vinyl, so this will never rot. And I could not be happier. So this is kind of a paean to DIY thinking. And I'm going to leave you now with a quick time-lapse, well, a 5-minute time-lapse video of how I did this window, just so you can see what was involved. So let's jump right into that. I had already removed the interior trim, so here I am prying off the exterior trim, hammering and prying. And it was all pretty rotty, but what you're seeing that looks weird there is the spray foam that I filled in all the cavities around the window. But then the window comes out pretty easily, and just need to clean it up. I'm sawing through the old windowsill there, and now I've got the whole frame out. And I'm cleaning up with my shop vac and cleaning up all the spray foam, great stuff foam residue that I used to fill in all the gaps between the framing and the window, which is what one does traditionally. But of course they'd never done that with the original barn. So now I'm screwing in a piece of 2x6 because the window is several inches smaller than the opening. I had a stock window that didn't fit my exact size, so I went with a smaller one. It's fine. So I put a piece of 2x6 top and bottom, and now I'm putting a piece of 3/4 inch wood on the right side there and double checking my measurements. And then, oh no, I realized I think I made a mistake there and decided to change plan a little bit, but I've got this 3/4 inch going up on the right there. And then I'm putting up some 3/4 because the window didn't seem to fit very well when I had the 2x in there. And now it's too loose. So, you know, this is how the projects usually go, right? So I'm working on it again. I'm putting a stop block down there so when I put the window in from the outside, it will hit it. And oops, no, it doesn't hit it again. So I'm going to take this whole thing down at the top, go back to the 2x, and yeah, double check measurements again, measure twice, cut once, put that back up in there, double check everything, a little more tweaking. So I'm using my Sawzall there to open up some of the exterior barn boards because that was one of the things that was kind of making the window opening a bit too small. So now I can get the window in there. That worked. So now I'm putting little stop blocks there so that when I put the window in, they don't fall all the way back into the building. Sawing out some corners and detailing there, and so there. Now it's in. Well, then I changed my mind because I needed to fit some things some more. I was sawzalling out the front edge, the front lip of that, just to make sure that the window could fit in snugly. Back to the stop block again. And I think this is going to work, maybe. Oh yes, so now I'm putting in the flashing. So this is aluminum or reflective coated, very heavy black tar paper type stuff that's very sticky. So you wrap that around the frame first, and then I'll put more of it, as you can see, on so that it bridges between the frame and the window itself. And I'm cutting those down into half-width strips. That goes on pretty easily. It's very easy to apply, just doing all the way around the window. So now I'm inside cutting lengths of vinyl exterior window trim. Oh, I'm double checking some interior stuff there too. But I wanted to use exterior vinyl trim. As you can see in the top window upstairs there, which I've already finished, that stuff never rots. And I've been so plagued with rotting trim, you know, that's only 20, 30 years old, although the windows on this building are more like 40 years old. So here I am screwing that down. I'm having a little trouble getting it to match up between the barn boards and the window trim, but I got it. So now I'm inside and cutting the bottom two pieces, drilling holes in them, and then using star drive external grated screws, white painted screws, which really match everything up very nicely. Now I've got that top one up there, and I've got a little trim work to do, and of course a lot of caulking. So I caulked the whole top edge there with clear caulk, down the sides, all the way down the sides. Oh my goodness, lots of caulking. I just don't want any rain ingress around that frame. So now I'm switching out to white caulk because I'm going to trim there between the trim and the window itself, all the way around. My dad was a chemist, and he actually invented some formulations of caulking compound before I was born, so I've grown up using a caulking gun. So that's looking good. Now I'm using some brown caulk because I want to fill in, there's a slot cut in up there for a weather strip that was originally there, and I just wanted to fill that in. Now I'm just cutting up all the old bits and pieces. There's the cardboard and the wood scrap of the old frame, just using a circular saw to cut it up and bin it, ready for the trash, and I'm basically done. That wasn't really that much work. I didn't really break out a sweat.